Why was only €1,041 repaid, given there was an overpayment of 7,972?
I'm not aware, Deputy. That would have been a matter for the Section 18s and the CEO at the time, unless Suzanne has any information on it.
No further.
Okay. And do you plan to recoup that money?
I don't believe so, Deputy.
I want to start off by asking about the former CEO's overclaimed subsistence. In the CNAG report in paragraph 6.3, it highlights this. I want to know, did the CEO have approval from the board to change his contractual base?
Go ahead. Yeah, go
ahead. Not in writing.
Not in writing, okay. And what was there verbal agreement between the former CEO and the board?
I can only tell you what I know. There was a letter written from the head of HR to the CEO saying his base had changed. The two chairs signed the CEO's expenses using his new base.
And were the board aware of his new base?
Well,
as in, they might have signed the expenses approving the amount, but were they aware of that change of location?
Okay, so our expense claim says where your base is and where you go to and come from. So, if you were claiming subsistence for an overnight in Dublin, then that would mean that your base isn't in Dublin. Okay,
so what was the total figure that was overclaimed?
I think it was 7,000 and something. I have to get out the report. Sorry, Deputy.
That's okay.
7,972 is the total of subsistence that was claimed in respect of trips to Dublin, to headquarters.
Okay, and that was from the new base. Can I just ask, obviously if this was an overpayment and this CEO has now left the organisation, was any of that money recovered?
Yes, Deputy. So the Section 18 appointees that were brought into the organisation did a review of the CEO's expenses, and they backdated a repayment to the time they started in the organisation, and a payment of €1,041.08 was repaid.
So why was only €1,041 repaid, given there was an overpayment of 7,972?
I'm not aware, Deputy. That would have been a matter for the Section 18s and the CEO at the time, unless Suzanne has any information on it.
No further.
Okay. And do you plan to recoup that money?
I don't believe so, Deputy.
Okay. I guess the reason I ask that is just purely because, if he had overpaid 7,900, surely you should get 7,900. How was the decision made to only reclaim 1,000?
Again, Deputy, that was a matter for the two Section 18 appointees, but I would assume that they only dealt with the time that they were in office.
Okay, so there was there's a failure of procedure here that we have to drill down into. And that failure of procedure here was that there was no written confirmation or written agreement from the board for the contractual change of base, which would lead to increased subsistence payments. Do you believe that you will now put in place a procedure whereby any contractual base changes must be approved by the board?
That is already in place.
That's in place.
Yes.
When was that put in place?
That was put in place during the governance review. We have now we have basically a policy in place that doesn't allow that to happen without the approval of the ELT or the board, depending on the employee level.
Okay, and just from a department point of view, do you believe that the money should be recouped?